ladies and gentlemen, this test is tomorrow. Our circle test is tomorrow. This is our last test. We will have one more quiz on solids and area, but this will be our last test. Okay? Let's make sure it's in front of us. We're going to go through this. Some of these were, I think, a little bit harder towards the front and easier towards the back if you had the formulas. So we're just going to go through this. 1, 2, and 3 says we're supposed to define something and include a diagram. Okay? So, number 1, a chord. It's on the first page of your circle book that we ever did. A chord has endpoints on the circumference. Okay. Circle, we've got a chord. Endpoints on the circumference. Okay, define a secant. A secant is actually in your tangent page. It's the one thing on there that's not about tangents. A secant intersects a circle twice. Secant intersects a circle twice. Number 3, define a diameter of a circle. So a diameter is a chord. That goes through the center. Making sure we show the center of our circle. We've got a diameter. Okay. Number 4, answer each question and explain her reasoning. So RS is equal to PQ. Is it equal to PQ and why? So again, guys, I keep making these references to our circle book. If we look on the first page, we have, if the distance to both chords are equal, the chords are equal. So A is yes, they're equal, because the distance to the center is equal. Questions about that one? So if their distance to the center is equal, the chords have to be equal to each other. Okay, part B. Is RT equal to TS? Again, if you look in the circle book, we have AB is equal to BC if they meet at 90 degrees. So yes, because the diameter bisects them at 90 degrees. Bisects the chord at 90 degrees. Okay, number 5, identify 2 chords. What 2 chords do we see here? Anybody want to volunteer one that they have? QP is a chord. RS is a chord. Let me ask you a question. Is UT a chord? No, because it does not have 2 endpoints on the circumference of the circle. So UT is not a chord. That is a common mistake. 6, a circle is the set of all points in a plane that are equidistant. This is on the first page of your circle book too. Equidistant from the center. What does equidistant mean again? Equal distance. A line that intersects a circle at exactly one point is called a what? If I saw this, if I saw a circle, and I have a line that intersects it at exactly one point. What do I call that line? Tangent. Okay. 8, it says use the figure above. It should say use the figure below. I don't know why. Maybe when we did it at first, this was above. SR is tangent to Q, circle Q, at R. So that's my tangent point. Choose the true statement. So I would turn, first of all, I saw the word tangent, so I would turn to my tangent page. Okay? And look at the things I know about tangents. Okay, so the first one says is SRQ 90 degrees. Is RQS 90 degrees? Is SQ and SR equal? Is the measure of angle RQS plus QSR equal to 180? Which one is it, guys? A, B, C, or D? A. Tangents and radiuses are meet at 90 degrees. Number 9. Okay, we're trying to find angle AOB. AOB, this angle right here. Okay, I know arc BA, please don't talk, C is 300 degrees. How am I going to find angle AOB? Okay. What is this angle right? What is this arc right here? CB. How many degrees would that be? It'd be 60, right? Because 360 minus 300 means I have 60 left over. And this is a what right here? This angle right here. What do we call it? Is it an inscribed angle? Central angle? What is this? Central angle, and central angles and arcs are the same, correct? Now, do we see that these two angles added together would equal 180? So 180 minus 60 leaves us with the measure of angle AOB equals 120 degrees, right? Really hope you guys are paying attention as we're going over this. Not playing on your phones, not doing other things, but actually paying attention. Okay, any questions on this first page before we turn to the back of it? Everybody's comfortable with that chords meet at the ends? The whole idea that if chords are equal from the center, they're equal to each other. Diameters bisect a chord if it meets at 90 degrees. Tangents intersect at exactly one point. All of this stuff. Talked a little bit about central angles down here for number 9. Okay. Let's look at 10. A minor arc of circle P is what? What is the definition of a minor arc? I talk about minor arcs on this page with central and inscribed angles. Minor arcs are less than 180 degrees. So there's a couple different options here. GF is less than 180 degrees. GH is less than 180 degrees. HE is less than 180 degrees. EF is less than 180 degrees.
You're gonna write all of them?
FH is less than 180 degrees. No, you just had to list one. It just could be any of these. So I wanted to make sure anybody who listed any of these items has them in there. Okay. Choose the true statement that refers to this figure. Okay. We've got AC is the diameter. Arc BAD is a minor arc. Arc BCD is a minor arc. Or arc CD is equal to arc BA. Which one is true? A. BCD is not a minor arc. BCD is 180. That is the most common thing people think, just because it doesn't go through the middle. Okay, 12. We've got to find angle PSQ And we know PSQ is 2y minus 15, and PRQ is y plus 3. What do these two arcs have in common right here? What is that called? Interpreted arc. So they're what to each other? If two angles share an interpreted arc, they're equal. Notice I'm pointing to your circle book right here. So I've got 2y minus 15 equals y plus 5. So I'm going to subtract y from both sides. Y minus 15 equals 5. Now I'm going to add 15 to both sides. Y equals 20. So I'm done, right? No, because I found y. What do I need to find? PSQ. So I have to go 2 times 20 minus 15. That gives me 40 minus 15. So the measure of angle PSQ gives me 25 degrees. That is the correct answer. If you put down 20, you will not get full credit on the test. Sure, plug it in. Okay. 13. We know angle B, so it's this angle right here, is 32 degrees. We are looking for arc AC. Okay? If angle ABC is 32 degrees, what is arc AC? What would it be? Is this a central angle or an inscribed angle? And inscribed angles are half their interpreted arc. So if we know what the inscribed angle is, we have to times it by 2, and so we get the arc is 64 degrees. All right, 14a. We have D to C is 8, P to Q, this bit right here, P to Q is 3. We want to find A to P. A to P is what of this circle? It's the radius, right? Can I draw another radius right here? Would these be the same? Yeah. And if these little marks are right here and we have a diameter intersecting a chord, that means they're both what? 4, right? We divide it in half. And then do we see that we have this triangle right here? And it's a right triangle, so we use what? Pythagorean theorem. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. So 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 4 is 16 equals x squared. So 25 equals x squared. And now what are we going to do? Square root it. So x equals 5, which is the same as AP. Okay. B. It says AB and DE are both 5, which means the distance to the center has to be the same. It says the radius is 6. Where is the radius? What letters make up the radius for this? C to E. Okay? If this whole length is 5, that means half of it is 2.5. And do you see how we have another right triangle? Trying to find this. This is 2.5. This is 6. So I'm going to say x squared plus 2.5 squared equals 6 squared. X squared plus 6.25 equals 36. I'm going to subtract 6.25 from both sides. X squared equals 29.75. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. And I get x equals 5.5, which is C to P. Questions about that? Okay, let's turn to 15. Nobody has questions about this page? I thought these two problems were a little bit difficult. Everybody's okay? All right. Let's look at 15. 15, I had a lot of people struggle with this on their homework quiz. So it's on this page right here where I talk about opposite angles. We've got a quadrilateral circumscribed by a circle, that means surrounded by a circle, and opposite angles add up to 180. So what plus what here equals 180? 100 plus, what's opposite 100? 80 is next to it. 2x is opposite, equals 180. So 2x equals 80, so x equals 40. So y plus 80 equals 180. So y equals 100. We okay with that? Opposite is like across from, not next to. Okay, what kind of angles are these? Are they central angles? Are they inscribed angles? What are those? No one knows? What are the orange angle and the pencil angle? Inscribed. And they have the same interpreted arc, so they are what to each other? Equal. 3x plus 4 equals 60. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. So 3x equals 56. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3. X equals 18 2/3 or 18.667. I had a lot of people freak out about this and said I had the wrong answer because I have a decimal. Decimal does not mean you have the wrong answer. All right, 16. What does this say right here for 16? The equation of a circle where h and k are the center and the square root of r is my radius. So what is the center of this one for A? What's the opposite of -1 and +3? 1 and? And what's the square root of 16? 4. So where do I put my first dot? Yeah, I go to the right one, down 3. And then I go 16 in all directions, right? 4 in all directions. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. B. What's the center of this one? And what is the radius? There we go. So I go to the right 2, up 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I go 3 in all 4 directions. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Questions about any of these? We're good with how to use the equation of a circle to graph the circle? We're good with opposite angles that up to 180. 2 inscribed angles that have the same interpreter arc are equal. All right, let's go to that last page then. Okay, you guys have to read these directions especially very carefully. We want to find the length of the arc. What is the formula for length of an arc?
Length over 360 equals.
Arc angle over 360 equals arc length over 2 pi r. Please make sure you have it correct. Okay. So, what is the angle of the arc for this one? 270. And I put it over what? 360. Equals, what goes on top? Over 2 pi what? 13.
I'm sorry, I didn't get too high.
You have the right thing down in your circle book now.
Yes.
That's what's important. All right, we're going to cross multiply. And we get 22,054 equals 360x. We divide both sides by 360. And x equals, or is approximately, I like to use the squiggle lines because I round up. It's approximately 61.26 what? Feet. Okay. 18. What is the formula for this one? Find the area of the sector. So length and area are different, right? How is this formula different? We have arc angle over here still. We still have 360. We're finding area of the sector. And, as Cody said, we're using pi r squared instead of 2 pi r. So let's put this in. What is my angle? What I'm going to put on the top left over here. What angle is this?
150.
Over
260.
equals, what goes on top?
3 meters.
X. And on the bottom it is pi, what? 3 squared. Okay, so we're going to cross multiply. And we get 4,241.15 equals 360x. I'm going to divide both sides by 360. And I get x is approximately 11.78 meters squared. And it's squared because why? Because it's the what of the sector? Area. Okay. 19 and 20 often get mixed up because you guys forget to read the directions. What is 19 asking me to find? Surface area. What's the formula for surface area of a cylinder? 2 pi radius height plus 2 pi radius squared. Remember where this comes from. We have the 2 pi r squared because we have two circles. We have the height times 2 pi r because this circle circumference is the length of, the rectangle. Okay. So we write 2 pi. Wait, before I move on, what's the radius of this cylinder?
6.
What's the height of the cylinder?
5.
Okay. So 2 pi times 6 times 5 plus 2 pi times 6 squared. I put that all into my calculator and I get 414.69 what? What's the units for this one? Kilometers what? It says surface area, so I need to put what next to my kilometers? 2. Right? I don't want to order carpet. Like if I ordered 200 feet of carpet, they're just going to give me one long string of carpet that's 200 feet long. If you want 200 feet squared, they're going to give you that rectangular shape or square shape or whatever it is. Right? You want that square there.
What do we get if we do a cube?
Then you would get like a 3D model of carpet, which would be interesting. Okay. Find the volume of a cylinder. What is the equation for volume of a cylinder?
Pi per square.
Yep. It's just like we take the area of a circle and stack it on top of each other how many times? What's R in this case? What's the height in this case?
12.
12. So we're going to write volume equals pi 9 squared times 12. And what do I get? Anybody feel like they had the right answer? No. 3,053.63 kilometers what?
Cube.
Cubed. ready for 21? Talk about some surface area of cones. No question about volume and surface area of cylinders. Okay, don't forget those squared and cubes. All right, what is 21 asking? Find the what of a cone? What does this hint say? Okay, before we look for that, what is the surface area equation for a cone?
I got it. Pi r squared plus pi r, and then that.
Slant height, that's what that means. That little cursive L. Okay, so what's the radius for this cone? What's the R for the cone? 2.2. What's the slant height? It's not 4.5, right? It's something else. So if we look, if we want to find slant height, we've got this right here, right? And we want to find the slant height. So we can say each of them squared, or we can just change it into our equation from our book. Circle book. Should be on that last page when we talk about cones, right here. Okay? So slant height equals the square root of 2.2 squared plus 4.5 squared. Okay. So my slant height is 5.01. If you put 5.00, you just didn't round up enough. I would have rounded up to 5.01. Okay, now we have the radius, we have the slant height, we can plug it back into this equation.
So I did do it.
So we're going to say surface area equals pi 2.2 squared plus pi times 2.2 times 5.01. Okay. I plug that all into my calculator and I get the surface area equals approximately 49.83 centimeters squared. It's squared because it's surface area. Or this is how you would wrap a cone perfectly in paper or something like that. Like, we did not want anything overlapping. This would be the perfect amount of paper for the cone. Okay. Number 22. Find the what of the cone? Volume of the cone. That's how much I can stuff inside the cone. Like how much ice cream if I didn't want my cone to have anything on the top of it coming up. Okay? So it says hint, find the height first. Let's first talk about what's the equation for volume of a cone. Anybody remember? Should be in your circle book. Height. Right? What's my radius for this cone? 4. Do I have the height though? No. So again, I have to use Pythagorean theorem. I've got the height, I've got 4, I've got 6. So height squared plus 4 squared equals 6 squared. So that's height squared plus 16 equals 36. Subtract 16 from both sides. Height squared equals 20. Take the square root of both sides. And height is approximately 4.47. Okay, so I've got height, I've got radius. Now I'm going to put it into my equation. Volume equals 1/3 pi 4 squared times 4.47. And I get the volume is approximately 74.9 centimeters what? It's volume, so what should go by centimeters? Cubes. Okay, I got all of these equations from my circle book. If you look, I've got cones, volume, and surface area. I will, hold on. Volume and surface area. I've got surface area and volume of cylinders. If you look, I've got area and arc length of sectors. I've got that opposite angles add up to 180. I've got that triangles, the diameter is also the hypotenuse if it's a right triangle. I've got inscribed angles. If they have the same interpreted arc or equal. Central angles are equal to their arc. Minor arcs are less than 180. Major arcs are more than 180 as a semicircle. Inscribed arc angles are half their interpreted arc. I've got that tangents meet radiuses at 90 degrees. Two tangents that meet at an exterior point are equal. Tangents are 1 point on the circle. Secants intersect a circle in 2 spots. If I've got a circle surrounded by tangents, the opposite tangents added together are equal to the opposite tangents. I've got the difference between external or internal tangents. On the front page, I have the equation of a circle. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. The square root of r squared is the radius. Definition of a circle, the center is equidistant from the point in the circle. Diameter is a chord, goes through the middle. Radius is half the diameter. It has to hit the middle and the circumference. If the distance to both chords are equal, then from the center they're equal. Circumference is 2 pi r, area is pi r squared. If they meet at 90 degrees, they are split in half, and a chord's endpoints are on the circle. You should have all of this in your circle book. Okay? You should have all of that in your circle book so that you are ready for the test tomorrow. The test looks very similar to